right, we're good.
All right, Site 42, we are now beaming to you. If you are in the YouTube chat and you can hear us, then let us know. This is TheeSherm speaking first. Shaggydredlocks, give us your vocals.
This is Shaggydredlocks. Can you hear me out there in YouTube land?
Shaggy, try again. Give it a big one this time.
This is Shaggydredlocks, and I'm trying to get this ad off my computer that just randomly started. Oh, there we go.
All right, it looks like
All right, can
Daikai's
you
can
hear me? We're
hear
good?
me. Someone in that YouTube chat, let me know that you can hear the both of us.
Can you hear me? Am I coming through?
John Hahn says
Sick.
hello. It's good to see everybody tonight. Welcome to the
Somebody, yeah,
stream.
somebody said they could hear two people. I
We
think
are
we're good.
live,
You
ladies
fixed
and
it.
gentlemen.
Oh
Welcome.
my God. That was amazing.
All right,
Technical
so
wizardry.
I'll introduce us real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Site 42 Stripped Down. I just got off work and rushed to do this charity stream, so this is my apartment. Welcome. We're not doing a green screen tonight. However, I did arrange for us for the magnanimous Shaggydredlocks to join us. Say hello, Shaggy.
You doing, everybody?
Most
That was my entire
importantly,
intro. That's all I had to say.
Most importantly tonight is tonight's stream is a charity live stream for hashtag Hope From Home. I heard about it from Jacksepticeye. I don't know if it's just his idea or someone else's, but it is a coronavirus charity drive for United Way and United Nations, and we're hoping to get medical equipment to people and food to people who don't have it. And so if you have any spare change, the link is the very first link in the description of this video. Please give to the donation link. Note that the second video is Shaggydredlocks' YouTube channel, which is brand spanking new. And so you should also subscribe to that. Here.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Haha, I look different than expected. Excellent. I am always full of surprises. And so, I will keep tabs on the donation in between each chapter of this. We have many chapters to this thing, so we're going to be here for a while.
Many chapters. And I like that you set the donation to 420. It's very appropriate.
Yeah, it's 420, Site 42. I hope to make $420 today. I need to donate my starting. I got to start that pile. Let me put that in there real quick. I'm going to donate as is appropriate $42. And then I'll probably add more if people are like being awesome. I'll probably like match something or other. If I can afford to match whatever they do. Why is not my donation button working? My donation button isn't working. This is a problem. Can you guys donate to it? When you hear it, when I lean forward, you cannot hear me at all. That's very good to know. Thank you for letting me know that, chat friend. And so I am going to donate to the stream real quick. And while I get my donation started, Shaggy, you should give us some pre-show into this SCP because you were a very big, most of this was your baby, I believe.
So this just started off, it was an anthology horror piece that Wonderful Help from yourself, the Volgun, Modern Rasmus, and Woedenaz. Is that even how you pronounce his name? Woedenaz?
I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it.
So he was the technical wizard who kind of put everything together. I don't know if you've seen it. There's a lot of multimedia elements. Sherm's audio contribution, all the technical flair that goes into it. He put all that together, which is beyond my understanding. So he really did us a solid with getting that together for us for the 5,000 contest. And I just got out of the page, back in it. All right. That's pretty much all I had to say. I'm saving some of my voice because I already just finished up a recording here.
Getting things done. Very nice.
Absolutely.
Well, while I get very frustrated with this donation link, I will start chapter 1 for us. And I figure you and me will go back and forth on these, as is mattering if it's a dialogue or if it's like a one-person story or something.
I don't think we have a lot of dialogue here. I think it's the dialogue is pretty much limited to the chapter that Modern Erasmus contributed to it. That's the interview there.
Coolio. Well, I will start us off with chapter 1 or chapter 7 if you count it in descending order. And we will make our way through this thing. We'll take turns. Fire 1. Special containment procedures. Do not access. Oops. All right, we have our 7 candles. The above is instrumental to proper containment. Proceed. Item number, null. Object class, contained. Special containment procedures. The Department of Analytics has been tasked with the annual procurement of 7 civilians to witness Procedure Sevenfold. They are to be promptly delivered to the Albright Manor on October 30th. Their biological profiles are to be submitted to the medical department no less than 3 weeks beforehand for analysis. Each witness must be sedated such that they awaken at approximately midnight on October 31st. Procedure Sevenfold typically runs its course before sunrise. All entrances to the Albright Manor have been sealed, barred, and boarded up, with the sole exception is the underground shaft used to deposit each witness. It is concealed within the house's cellar. The chains remain taut. I'm going to go with weird voices for those weird text things. I feel
Yeah, it was a nice touch. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
The Albright Manor has been fitted throughout with surveillance devices for personnel to witness Procedure Sevenfold through to completion. A command post situated off-site shall be staffed with no more than 1 containment specialist and 2 Class D personnel. They are to be given false containment procedures. The containment specialist will relay the events within the manor as they transpire and may be supplanted by a Class D if the need arises. Per Ethics Committee mandate, personnel who survive the night are to be terminated via the introduction of sarin compounds into the outpost. On November 1st, a cleanup crew shall be dispatched to remove the remains of every witness, if indeed it is possible. If difficulties are experienced during retrieval, all bodies are to be considered the possession of the Albright Manor. They will be integrated into future events. Successfully retrieved corpses are to be incinerated in the crematorium behind the property. Noise-canceling headphones will be provided to personnel manning the incinerator. For the remainder of the year, personnel are to remain wary of any services which contain the phrase, quote, "This is where I died," end quote. Special containment procedures produced by S. Andrew Swan. All right, do you have any fun facts about Chapter 1 for us?
Fun facts. This is actually, I usually don't write special containment procedures first, but this is one of the cases where I did. And in looking at the horror anthology setup that I was trying to do, I went with making each section of the SCP into its own individual story. So doing that for the special containment procedures, trying to tell one entire story within that constraint was a little difficult, but I think we did a decent job.
Right on, right on. How about you take us into the description?
All right. Description. Caution. Do not proceed. Got our 6 candles here. One of them has been snuffed out. This probably does not bode well. All to proper containment. Continue reading. Description. Miss Jacqueline Holcroft are affected by several disparate anomalies. The effects began at an unspecified time after her assault and murder at the hands of 6 unknown assailants on 6 June 2006, and persist through to this day. First-hand accounts of those affected by these anomalies suggest that neutralization of the effects would occur should each part of Miss Holcroft be collected and laid to rest. Persons in the vicinity of any part of Miss Holcroft's remains, or who are privy to the nature of the crime leading to her death, may become subject to its effects. This entails... Am I going to do a silly voice here? Let's try. Visual hallucinations. Subjects uniformly report seeing a nude, disheveled woman with deep lacerations along her extremities. These wounds are consistent with those suffered by Miss Holcroft upon her dismemberment. Most often, the figure appears in one's peripheral, unmoving, clutching its midsection. It disappears when one attempts to look more closely. Options. These consist primarily of unintelligible whispers and moans. On rare occasions, subjects can discern pleading and begging. In these cases, subjects are typically called for by name. 6 subjects have reported hearing an unfamiliar song, sung to the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Namely, the scent of amniotic fluid. Holcroft's remains persist until the subject's death. Typically, this is expedited via the development of secondary effects that manifest upon the biannual anniversary of the subject's exposure. Secondary effects include, but are not limited to, the discovery of body parts and organs. Fingers, eyes, teeth, and hair will be found at random near the subject. They are usually found upon opening a drawer, lifting a toilet seat, and in other concealed locations, such as under the subject's pillow or in their meals. All such objects disappear when unobserved. Insertion of a filthy, nude woman into all media depicting the subject, often obscured or in the distance. Analysis of clear depictions has revealed that said woman is in actuality the reassembled amalgamation of Miss Holcroft's remains. Besides the wounds reflecting her dismemberment, there is a single large vertical gash beginning between her breasts and trailing down towards her genitalia. The chains are weakening. Sleep paralysis. During such sessions, subjects have reported the presence of multiple figures which hold down and mutilate them. Unilaterally, before regaining full consciousness and control of their bodies, subjects claim to feel searing pain in their gut and the removal of a vital component of their being. Update. Anomalous activity and civilian deaths. All 206 bones of Miss Holcroft's body have been recovered. The remains have been interred in the Holcroft family plot in Creche Glen. Upon the conclusion of funerary services, all attendants to the service suffered spontaneous disembowelment. Since this time, living subjects previously affected by Miss Holcroft's remains have reported the cessation of anomalous phenomena. However, each has proven to be sterile. Furthermore, 1 in 6 subjects with living offspring has reported the disappearance of one of their children. Despite our best efforts, none of these children have been recovered. It had no effect on Miss Holcroft's presence in the Albright Minor. Produced by researcher Talleyrand.
Yes. Comments on
yeah.
On section 2.
Section 2, yeah, that's that was a fun one. Went through a little bit of revisions. Content was a little more explicit before it went onto the site, or after it went onto the site. Actually, it was up. We actually posted it for the contest, and some people were a little uncomfortable with it. Other people thought it was a little quote unquote edgy. So we toned that down to make it a little palatable for a wider audience, I guess you could say. And yeah, there's also something about it. A lot of people kind of overlooked that took a little bit of prodding to get people to kind of come around to what was going on kind of behind the scenes there in terms of what is implied. But doing those edits kind of brought that to the fore a little bit. People were able to figure that out. So I believe you got this next part then, right?
Yep, we're going on to 5 candles, right?
Ooh, 5 candles. Spooky.
I'm just getting that right there. Got it. Oh, the candle didn't go out. Properties. Do it. Do as I say. Oh, it did. It's just on the other side. I was wrong.
There you go.
5 candles. All right. We are now exploration. Caution. Do not continue. The above is instrumental to proper containment. You may read on. Expiration. Video log. Locale. Creche Glen, Kansas. Population 3125. Note: 5 members of Mobile Task Force Epsilon 5, codenamed Pentacle, were deployed into the town of Cresh Glen following its subsumption by a thick fog and the seeming disappearance of all its inhabitants. The following is a record of the phenomena occurring within the town, as recorded by Joy Bates, E5 Echo, surveillance camera. Begin log. Camera activates. E5 Echo is seated in the back. Epsilon 5 Echo. Now I got it. E5 Echo is seated in the back seat of the task force's Humvee. Pentacle members form a perfunctory mic check as they pull up to the perimeter of the town. After 2 minutes of idle chatter, it is decided they should proceed via vehicle. The chains in the road break easily beneath the Humvee's wheels. E5 Echo watches out the window as the surrounding forest gives way to a thick blanket of mist. Visibility drastically reduces, and E5 Bravo slows the vehicle to a crawl. After creeping for several meters through the fog, it is decided that exploration should occur on foot. E5 Bravo pulls to the side of the road. All passengers disembark. E5 Bravo kills the engine and follows suit. Very little can be discerned as E5 Echo looks around. A black sedan lay just north of their position. It is laying on its side perpendicular to the road, and the roof has been torn free. To the right sits an ivy-coated brick building behind a rusted chain-link fence. Nothing can be seen beyond the sidewalk across the street from their position. The unit draws their firearms and form a defensive position behind the Humvee, while E5 Charlie employs imaging hardware. E5 Bravo teases E5 Delta after the latter complains of the silence within the once bustling town of their birth. E5 Alpha admonishes the siblings and calls for professionalism. The pair acquiesce. Both thermal imaging hardware and a modified SPAD visual asset are incapable of penetrating the fog beyond what can already be seen with the naked eye. E5 Alpha announces the decision to continue without visual aid due to the efficacy of natural sight and the needless burden of excess hardware. E5 Echo is called upon to investigate the wrecked vehicle. Her hand crosses the camera feed as she whispers a prayer. She sets off. The car can be heard to still be running as she approaches. Beneath the sound of the engine, an indiscernible country song is heard playing on the radio. Besides missing its roof, there is extensive damage to the driver's side rear, which is missing its door. There is a large amount of blood on both the dashboard and the now deflated passenger side airbag. As she closes in, the music becomes clearer. It's a Johnny Cash tune. The singing and guitar cease, and there's a bit of static as the musician quotes a Bible verse before the radio falls silent. Close inspection reveals that all seatbelts beside the tattered front passengers remain strapped in and locked, including the 4-point harness on the child's car seat situated behind the driver's chair. E5 Echo turns to relay her findings to the rest of the team. E5 Charlie is absent. E5 Echo makes an exclamation regarding his disappearance, causing alarm amongst the others. It is not noted by E5 Echo, but on the lower left of the feed, there can be seen a quasi-humanoid figure crouching beneath the Humvee. It skitters swiftly and silently backward and out of sight on 5 forelimbs. E5 Alpha calls for order. He rallies the team and takes point as the group travel down the street and into town. The 4 move in step, with E5 Echo guarding the rear down the side of the road. The team is guided by E5 Delta to cut through an alleyway. A low, bellowing sound trumpets from on high. The team emerges on the next street and passes several buildings. There is a barbershop whose window is shattered. It is dark inside, save for the flickering of a single light near the back of the parlor that reveals signs of struggle. Next to this, a destroyed building smokes with the last embers of a raging fire. E5 Delta and E5 Bravo reminisce over the loss of this structure, which was purportedly their favorite pizzeria growing up. E5 Echo speaks over their conversation, questioning aloud the lack of bodies. E5 Bravo shoots back with a sarcastic response before the trio is silenced by Alpha, who hears something. A quiet bleating can be heard somewhere in the distance. As the group progresses, a squat figure can be seen enshrouded in the mist across the street. E5 Alpha advances with his weapon at the ready. They come upon a lamb, laying in the grass in the front yard of a 2-story home. The number 5 is painted on its fleece in blue paint. The animal bleats and cries and is clearly distressed by their presence. It shakily stands as if to flee, but quickly collapses. Dried blood spots the ground around the area it lays in. E5 Delta approaches the animal to tend to it and is mocked with feigned annoyance by her brother. She discovers that the lamb has had something small and metallic lodged into each of its hind hooves, causing it a great deal of pain and prohibiting escape. E5 Echo pans around their surroundings with her rifle at the ready, while E5 Delta kneels next to the creature, petting it and comforting it. The fog holds naught beyond an abandoned pickup truck. She asks if it might be best to euthanize the lamb. At this, in the camera's peripheral, it can be seen to be convulsing violently from the neck up. E5 Delta is looking up at her squad leader as this occurs, and is thus not immediately aware of the sudden threat to her person. E5 Echo turns with a start as E5 Bravo shouts to his sister, who sees the beast's behavior and recoils. She falls, scooting backward across the lawn. E5 Alpha has his weapon trained on the animal and fires. E5 Echo raises her weapon, but does not have a clear shot over the retreating E5 Delta. Despite suffering extensive damage to its midsection and spilling its guts over the soft earth, the animal remains upright and continues to convulse and bleat and scream. Its screams quickly take on a human sound, which then devolves into the vocalizations made by bodies in the Albright Manor's crematorium. E5 Bravo reaches down to help his twin to her feet. She screams. E5 Bravo catches his sister as she falls back. Her feet seem locked in position. E5 Echo lowers her weapon and rushes to E5 Delta's side. Looking down, a pair of thick, metal implements have risen through the soil, piercing both E5 Delta's feet. Each of the foreign objects has a thick, round head that would not allow them to pull her up off of them. E5 Echo hurriedly explains this as she grips around the head of one of the objects and attempts to pry it upwards and out of her teammate. E5 Alpha continues to deliver concentrated fire into the entity as its screams grow in volume. Mirrored cries can be heard in the distance from multiple sources. E5 Bravo, cradling his sister, cries out an expletive. He draws his sidearm with his free hand and flails it about shakily at unseen foes. E5 Alpha reloads his weapon. E5 Echo looks up from her task. The entity is now unrecognizable. I'm getting excited.
If you need me, let me know if you need me to take over at any point.
I want to have a
Switch
sip of
off.
this.
This is pretty long. This is a long piece.
It's pretty long, but like the momentum's there, and so I'm just like getting psyched.
Yeah, I hear it.
That's tasty anomalous fluid. All right. The entity is now an unrecognizable metallic helmet as it does so. Yeah, I'll just start there. E5 Echo looks up from her task. The entity is now an unrecognizable bloodied husk. It rears up. Leathery wings unfurl from behind the creature. It beats its wings and begins to rise. As it does so, it can be seen that its hind legs are dug into the earth. E5 Echo shouts out reassuringly as she doubles her efforts to free her teammate. You know what? I will tag, because this is a long beast. Go, hop in there, buddy.
All right. Let's see if I got actually where you're at precisely. Okay. Metallic implements pulled downwards, severing the tip of E5 Echo's right index finger. The ground gives way as E5 Delta is pulled ankle-deep into the earth. E5 Bravo drops his weapon and seizes his sister under the arms as she is dragged knee-deep into the ground. E5 Echo tries to assist in pulling her free. As they struggle, the entity can be seen beating its wings furiously. It has raised itself a half-meter above ground. It's straining and pulling its grossly elongated hind legs, which remain embedded in the soil. E5 Delta is pulled waist-deep. Bleeding can be heard all around the team. E5 Alpha orders the pair to abandon E5 Delta and requests covering fire. Short, concentrated bursts are fired by the squad leader into multiple areas at shadowy figures in the fog. E5 Delta cries and screams for help as she is pulled up to her chest, causing the pair to lose their grip around her torso. E5 Echo draws her sidearm, aims it at E5 Delta, and shouts her intention to decommission and spare the agent. E5 Bravo, who is now locked hand in hand with his sister, pulling with all his might, threatens E5 Echo with her life if she pulls the trigger. Visible from within the fog, each slowly limps towards the group. E5 Alpha again orders his subordinates to retreat as he defends them against the approaching threat. Steadily deeper, her head and arms remain just above the ground. E5 Echo requests permission to fire from E5 Alpha. E5 Bravo roars in defiance. There is a soft rumble as E5 Delta is rapidly dragged underground. Losing his grip, E5 Bravo is pulled forward and falls face first. As he screams and begins to dig at the ground, E5 Echo turns to see the entity rise higher and higher up off the ground, pulling its hind legs out of the earth. Just like the beast's hind legs are seen to be elongated. They glisten with a metallic sheen. As it rises, human feet can be seen being brought up, speared to the hooves. The nude form of E5 Delta is slowly unearthed. Her body is limp. It's a string of obscenities, retrieves his rifle and opens fire. The beast shudders as it takes more damage. It flies unsteadily, carrying E5 Delta's body up and over the team. Its upper body becomes enshrouded in the mist. All that can be seen is E5 Delta's corpse, swaying as the beast carries it. It bleats, rocking its hooves backwards before rapidly bringing them forward. It slams E5 Delta's body into the nearby telephone pole, where she is pinned by the feet. What remains of the entity, and the lambs now surrounding the team, dissipate into fog as the trumpets bellow again. E5 Alpha radios command to deliver a sitrep and is given orders to continue the descent into town. E5 Echo is preoccupied with bandaging her finger. Against protest from E5 Alpha, E5 Bravo attempts to ascend the telephone pole to dislodge his sister's corpse. He fails in scaling the structure, and after 2 more attempts heeds E5 Alpha's orders. The trio depart. Neighborhood for the next 20 minutes, guided by E5 Bravo's direction. The final chaotic moments of the town become more apparent as they walk onwards. Multiple vehicular accidents dot the roads and lawns of the suburbs. Home and auto alarms ring out in the distance. Fog mixes with smoke from structure fires. Weeping is heard intermittently. No source is found. It is as the remaining members of Pinnacle pass the wrought iron fence that E5 Alpha reports the stench of decay. E5 Bravo expresses concern. Though it cannot be seen from their position on the sidewalk beside the fence, E5 Bravo explains that they are passing by the town's elementary school. E5 Alpha swears. A human outline becomes visible ahead of the team, against the fence under the shade of a tree. It becomes clear as they approach that there are several such figures straddled to the fence under the shade of a weeping willow, whose branches extend over the fence from the school grounds. Each figure is seen to be naked and unmoving. The trio carefully keep their distance, leaving the sidewalk and circling into the street around the figures. There are 5 in total. Their bodies can be seen to be tied by the wrists to the fence and held upright. Each is in various states of decay, and their backsides are torn and bloodied with large gashes cutting across each corpse. The cause of death is speculated by E5 Echo to be from flagellation. Corpse in the center is noted to be fresher than those on either side of it, and the wounds on its back possess a different appearance than the others, inciting inquiry by the team. E5 Bravo walks towards it. He pulls out his canteen, opens it, and pours water over the body. Enough blood is washed away to reveal what remains of a tattoo on the body's upper back. It is the insignia of E5 Pinnacle, identifying the corpse as the missing E5 Charlie. The lacerations can be seen to have been precisely struck in order to spell out a single phrase. This is where I died. E5 Alpha forbids further action with the corpse. E5 Echo watches as E5 Bravo backs away from the bodies. As he turns to join his teammates, a thick thorned vine descends from the bough of a willow tree. It quickly ensnares E5 Bravo around his cranium, drawing blood. E5 Bravo drops his canteen and attempts to wrest himself free, but he is sharply pulled upward and out of sight. Splintering bones can be heard over his screams. Both sounds are short-lived before the trumpets bellow again. Blood and viscera spill from the treetop. E5 Alpha grabs E5 Echo by the shoulder, and the pair retreat. Agents run down the street in the direction they came from. Bleeding and screaming can be heard in response to this, though the agents encounter no obstacles. Without the guidance of the twins, and due to environmental stressors, the agents make a wrong turn after several minutes. They carry alongside They carry along a side street which leads towards the town center against their knowledge. On all sides, faces can be seen briefly in the fog. They coalesce but for a moment before losing all cohesion, appearing elsewhere. Distant weeping can again be heard. Sobbing becomes laughter. The faces in the mist leer unseen by the agents as they run. Cruel and mocking laughter grows in intensity as the pair progress. Something large stirs underneath, beginning to be free from its shackles. See, that's a mess up by me. That should actually be in the creepy text there. It is not. It's normal. Whoops.
That feeling when you have to read every single word in the article,
Yeah,
and therefore you find those typos.
I have edited this thing so many times. Blah. E5 Alpha howls with rage, brandishes his sidearm, and fires at nothing. E5 Echo pauses. She begs her squad leader to compose himself and soldier on. He's behaving erratically and refuses to listen to reason. She threatens to leave him behind, yet he does not comply. E5 Alpha's shouts and gunshots ring out for the next few minutes over the bleeding and the laughing and the weeping. The trumpets bellow again. All is silent. Now you want to pick it up here?
I got
I
you.
need a sec. Yeah, let's do it. Tag team. Throwing in the towel.
E5 Echo continues, cutting through a cul-de-sac and several properties before tripping over something embedded in the ground. She screams. Looking down, it can be seen she's injured her leg and is bleeding. After a moment, she comes to a stand. Panning about, it becomes clear she has stumbled into a cemetery. She curses thrice under her breath, immediately apologizes. Apologizes. That's a typo. She curses thrice under her breath, immediately apologizes, and says a quick prayer. She hobbles through the cemetery, occasionally using headstones for support. Before her, the outline of a church becomes visible. She circles the building, coming around to the front. The stairs are shakingly navigated, and she pushes open the front door, collapsing once within. There exists no fog within the structure. The entirety of its interior is able to be envisaged. That's just a word.
You go. Yeah, it is.
E5 Echo looks about the church. Everything is in perfect order, in stark contrast to the chaos throughout the town proper. In taking in her surroundings, E5 Echo becomes fixated on a large cross behind the pulpit. The figure nailed to it is moving. She stands and closes distance. It is E5 Alpha. His fatigues and equipment are absent. A tunic is wrapped about his midsection. He coughs as E5 Echo approaches. Blood and nails are expelled from his mouth as he does so. As E5 Echo reaches out towards her squad leader, his eyes open. There's a blinding light coming from them. There is a noise of thunder. The very foundation of the building shakes with this sound, and E5 Echo stumbles backwards. She runs for the door as E5 Alpha bleats behind her. Now, outside, E5 Echo looks about in a panic. She descends the stairs, rushing to get off the church's property. Rumbling can be heard behind her. Turning, she could see that the nearest graves have collapsed. Hands and fingers grip the edges of the one closest to her. E5 Echo continues as fast as her injury will allow. She nears the street in front of the house of worship and falls to her knees. She tries to stand and finds she is unable. Heavy footsteps become audible. The earth quakes with each step. She cries and begs forgiveness. She begins to pray. Her prayers are interrupted, and she lets out a wet, gurgling sound. She looks down, revealing a long, bladed instrument embedded in her side. Her camera feed begins to raise up. Up. The ground is lost beneath the shroud of fog. There exists no point of reference within the fog to discern how high the agent is raised before she is turned about to face and behold a massive human figure. It brings her up to meet its gaze, though its eyes are enshrouded in shadow. Its bearded face is gaunt. The agent struggles as the entity brings her closer to its face. The level of proximity reveals that the entirety of its countenance is comprised of countless human bodies, squirming up against one another. The false beast opens its maw. From the depths of its being, a rolling thunder can be heard. The trumpets bellow again. End log. Exploration produced by Dr. Pangiotopoulos.
It's a mouthful.
Whew.
Yeah. I feel like I need a minute after that, right? Just listen. I was getting tired just listening.
It's tough, and it keeps going. Like, there isn't a dull moment, that's for sure.
All right. So let's see. Where are we at? And okay, so now this is this upcoming part. That is the interview. So that has two parts to it. How do you feel about being Agent Grace?
I'll go for it.
Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How good is your? This is gonna actually be really interesting. How good is your ability to speak in reverse?
I'm not sure that I'll actually like. I can make it sound like I'm doing like.
Yeah, all right. So you're winging it. Let's do it. All right.
Do you have any fun facts about that last chapter before we move on?
Not really. I mean, this is I pretty much did that in one sitting. That was the most difficult part for me because we were pretty late coming into the contest. We were going to have another author. Original idea was that we were going to have one author per section. I was going to get a whole bunch of people together. We're all going to do this whole thing, but for one reason or another, it did not work out. So that piece, I was waiting on assistance. I think I had a few people I had slotted to do it. Numbers Ghost, Hippo, kind of bounced between people. It all kind of fell off. Shit happens, and ended up having to kind of punch it out real quick.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember this is a charity stream. There's a link in the description for A, donating to the charity of choice tonight. That's why we're here reading tonight. And B, to Shaggy's YouTube channel, because Shaggy has a YouTube channel now, so you should go subscribe to that. And now we go to chapter 4, the interview.
All right.
The candles are changed. Let's get down to business. So, interview. Exorcism attempt number 4. Do you want to do the doctor speech since it seems like forward?
Yeah, I'll hook us up with the surrounding information, background, etc., etc. Let's see. Exorcism attempt number 4. Date 14th of April, 2004. A lot of numerology in this. Present. Dr. Peter McNeil, Department of Demonology, Psychology Division. Agent Savannah Grace, Mobile Task Force Mu 13. Ghostbusters, Purification Specialist. Background. Operation 4 Monarchs, the details of which are classified level 4. Agent Grace was exposed to a demonic entity and suffered possession. It has since been determined that this accident was due to a failure of the chains to hold what lies beneath. Agent was subsequently taken to the Department of Demonology for exorcism, but initial attempts failed at expulsion. Dr. Peter McNeil, a specialist in exorcism via demonic psychology, was then authorized to meet with the possessed alone to attempt exorcism via coercion or intimidation. Recording commences. Hello, Agent Grace. You've been fairly quiet since the last attempt. Okay. Eyes up.
Jim, Connor, Marcus, Jane. Jim, Connor, Marcus, Jane. Jim, Connor, Marcus, Jane. Jim, Connor, Marcus, Jane. Jim.
To surrender and vacate this vessel.
Jane, Jim, Connor, Marcus, Jane. Jim, Connor, Marcus, Jane. Jim, Connor, Matthew, Jay. Fuck!
You repeat those names in a feat of resistance, but you know that it was your own actions that led to their deaths.
Connor,
It was your fault.
Connor.
You must give recompense. You must cease in your struggle.
Marcus, Jane,
Give
Ken,
in.
Marcus, Jane, Connor, Marcus, Jane, Jim, Jane,
Or a
Kim,
putrid,
Connor,
violent creature.
Connor, Jane,
You eke
Jim,
out your
Connor,
existence on the
Jim,
suffering of
Marcus,
those you deem
Jane,
lesser.
Connor, Marcus,
And look at
Jane,
yourself now.
Jim, Marcus, no, Mark, Jane, no. Oh God, please no.
You're locked deep in this facility. You know you can't escape. You know that you'll never achieve your goals, your desires, your hopes. You will die here, alone and rotting.
Die in the dark, live in the light. Die in the dark, live in the light. Die in the dark, live in the dark. Die in the light, live in the dark. Die in the light.
You are at my mercy. You will experience hell
Dark.
You experience hell for all time, should I so choose.
Light,
You will give in.
dark, light,
You will let go.
dark, light, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, light.
You're still
dark.
resisting. You will be punished for that. Would you not rather flee to what refuge I deign to offer you?
Neva,
Save your whore breath. You will not be aided. You will not be believed. You will be reviled. Spare yourself the pain.
Nemo the power
Really, the Lord's Prayer backwards? Are you truly so useless, so vile, so pathetic, and so utterly weak that you would resort to such a petty trick as your final defiance? You will fail. If you are such a lover of the Lord, your nature and actions so disgrace, then perhaps you know this. Or four. But for all of you who held fast to the... Finish it for me, dear.
Eat man. Eat the walla.
What you are doing won't help you, ignorant fool. But all of you who hold fast to the...
Never need to father's love.
will finish the verse. But all of you who hold fast to the...
Never river did rope.
You're slipping. But all of you who held fast to the...
Lord, your God are still alive today.
Girl. See? I have taught you decrees and laws as...
The Lord, my God, commanded me.
For that,
You may follow them in the
follow them
land.
into the land you are
You are
entering.
take possession of it.
Possession of it.
Sorry, I got distracted in recording.
That's all right. So I was trying to. We were supposed to do it simultaneously. I'm trying to pick you up, but you did. You're pretty good on the backward speaking. That was really impressive. I could not do that. That's why I had you do that part. You're the expert here.
I'll take this bus and roll under it. Oh, yes. Interview produced by Dr. Menard.
Right.
Whew, okay, I'm going to drink some more of that. How? Whew. Any
I
fun
think you
facts
kinda
on
need to
that
recover a
interview?
little bit. This is the section that was written by Modern Rasmus. I had some kind of idea of what I wanted to do, sticking with the kind of ghost theme that we got going through this, went with demonic possession, and I'm kind of ass at doing dialogue. So, I talked to a few people to try to get some assistance with this section, and Modern Rasmus stepped up to the plate, and I told him what we had in mind, and he delivered, and then some. One thing that I will mention, and spoiler alert, you're going to find out some stuff, is that one thing that people kind of look over with this section, and I thought was fucking just really clever of him, is that the agent here, the possessed agent here, is not the one who is actually possessed in this encounter. It is the doctor who is demonically possessed, and he's trying to more or less force possession onto the captive purification specialist, Agent Grace. And a lot of people seem to kind of Not kind of not really get that. It's a little subtle, so I guess I can understand that.
I can see if someone's reading it straight, but the doctor just seems so like dark to me.
Yeah, he is a malicious motherfucker.
Like, yeah, that was definitely my first inkling, but if you have no idea what's going on in the story, I could see a lot of different ideas as what's happening.
If you take it at face value, then I understand.
Mm-hmm. All
All
right,
right,
you ready for
so
3 candles?
8 candles. Oh, it's kind of getting dark in here. I don't know. Should we keep playing the game? Should we keep? Actually, I should. I don't think that I actually.
I don't know, audience. Do you guys think we should keep going? There are 3 candles left if we blow this one out.
It's kind of scary, man. Keep playing this game. They say it's really, really not good for you to. Was it 100 candles, 100 tails? It's not a good idea to go all the way to the end.
Getting a little creepy in
But
this room.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I can fend for myself here. I'm just worried about our audience. That's all.
Be sure to stock up on your lock your doors, get your anomalous fluid, salt the doors.
Proton packs, yeah. All right. So who's which one is starting this piece off? Chapter 3. Or
This is oh, this is the game. So I'm
the
thinking
video game one, yeah.
this one we just got to remember to point out whose name is what color, I guess. But I think we can just break this up, take turns on each like calendar day.
Yeah, I think we'll do it by calendar days. We'll just hop back and forth. That sounds like a good idea.
Cool, I'll give us the opening salvo. Incident timeline. Warning, containment breach near. 3 candles. Proceed with the rest of the document. Incident timeline. The following is the recorded history of all anomalous phenomena relating to Prodigy Priest King since its release. Included are the research team's findings of events prior to Foundation involvement, as gleaned through interviews, notable breakthroughs, and claims made by the game's fan community, as tracked through Usenet, and phenomena observed by playtesters in a controlled Foundation environment. For ease of reference, subjects shall be color-coded according to the empathic role ascribed to them by the anomaly. For the profiles here, blue profiles are A, red profiles are theta, and let me try that again. Blue is profile alpha, red is profile theta, and green is profile omega. And we'll
I'm going
just
to forget that in 30 seconds.
Say again?
I'm going to forget that in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm just going to say blue, red, green.
There we go. Yeah, that works. Color code it.
All right, I'll take November 29th and we'll go back and forth from there. November 29th, 1988. Axel Rodemeyer, blue, age 9, of Loyalton, California, experiences feelings of numbness in his hands throughout the school day. He is permitted to rest in the nurse's office for an hour and loses all sensation below the wrist by noon. Axel is checked out of school at 12:33 by his mother. While en route to the hospital, Axel's condition improves. The pair travels home, with Axel's mother attributing the condition to the previous night's extended play session. Todd Wilson, red, age 27, of Dallas, Texas, returns his copy of Prodigy Priest King to the Babbages where he purchased it. Mr. Wilson asserted that once entering the main location, Labyrinth, all audio cuts off, with the silence being punctuated by a prolonged low rumble. A replacement copy was provided. D. Hammond, blue, age 12, of Durham, New Hampshire, is spotted standing by the side of the road in front of her home in the pouring rain, fixated on the full moon. Her neighbor ushers her back towards her house and alerts her parents.
30th of November, 1988. Ken Klein, blue, age 18, of Colorado Springs, Colorado, experiences an uncharacteristic, severe depressive episode and is only assuaged by the embrace of his father. Marcus, Michael, and Matthew Cook, blue, age 15, are reported absent from school. They have locked themselves in their bedroom, where they have scrawled a top-down representation of a map to the game's main location. Labyrinth on the walls. The phrase, "This is where I died," is carved in the corner of the room.
December 1st, 1988. Mary Blevins, Green, age 33, of Bristol, Pennsylvania, destroys her son's copy of Prodigy Priest King owing to the latter's single-minded preoccupation with playing it, to the point of soiling himself during play. At around 3 o'clock, she enters the basement to fetch laundry and falls down the stairs. She suffers a fatal cervical fracture upon landing. Axel Rodemeyer, Blue, is unable to get out of bed on account of full-body numbness. He is rushed to the emergency room. Leo Rasmussen, age 3, of Idabel, Oklahoma, seizes and becomes comatose while watching his elder sibling play Prodigy Priest King. He is hospitalized. Alt Binary's PPK news group is established on Usenet for pulling knowledge about the game. Several users express frustration at being unable to find the mirror, the jewel, or the sword. User Trey uploads several photographs of their computer screen showcasing the glitch of the ghoul enemy sprite, Entity A, Blue. This glitch makes the enemy appear much shorter compared to other sprites and gives it blackened skin with flecks of red. Trey claims it can neither be killed nor interacted with, but may block access to crucial areas of the game, necessitating a reset. 6 other users claim to have experienced the same glitch.
Of December 1988. Gina Wilson arrives at her son Todd's home after he misses 2 days of work at the family shop. She is unable to open his bedroom door and hears a low, blaring, monotone chiptune on the other side. Police arrive by 2:33 and force their way through the barricaded door. They find the mattress propped against the windows and all lights shattered. The only remaining source of light is from the monitor displaying a game over screen. It does not respond to attempts to turn it off and must be unplugged. Todd, Red, is not found. User Jean-Luc Picard uploads 4 image files to the PPK news group, revealing a hidden tunnel in the southeastern corner of the labyrinth. The path therein leads to a small, colorful room resembling a child's bedroom, which is anachronistic to the game's fantasy setting. In one image, Entity A, Blue, stands in the corner facing a wall. The jewel item, representing the Prodigy, can be found on the nightstand.
December 3rd, 1988. Several users in the PPK news group that have attained the jewel report the presence of a new enemy, Entity B, Red, encountered in the crypt portion of the game, which is not referenced in the game manual. The dark-robed humanoid flees from the player upon approach. Players find that Entity B, which is still red, can be attacked if cornered, and if killed, will collapse into a quivering heap on the ground. It regenerates after 3 seconds, which players exploit for easy experience points. D. Hammond, Blue, is found by her mother sitting in the fetal position in the corner of her bedroom, crying and shaking. Twins Sindel and Mandy Shields, Purple? Purple?
Surprise.
Oh no, there's...
Yeah,
oh no, this is something.
Yeah, shit, it gets crazy. Yeah, something's happening.
All right, well, purple, an up until now unknown color. Here we go. Twins Sindel and Mandy Shields are discovered within their parents' basement. They are found reciting the song Twinkle Twinkle Little Star incessantly. The lyrics are wrong. Ray Gonzalez, age 24, Red, of Brunswick, New Jersey, is found by the police in his home. He has been bludgeoned to death. His eyes, hands, and genitals were violently removed pre-mortem, and a 1/4-meter rod is found inserted into his anal cavity. Bryce Stephenson, age 6, is rescued from the basement.
4th of December, 1988. User Triceratop begins a subthread to the PPK news group to discuss her experience with the game, stating that the ghost enemies are vocalizing her name as opposed to default soundbites. Most users respond with skepticism, with one exception, Triple H, who claims to experience the same issue. Michael and Matthew Cook, Blue, invite Father Emmett Clark, Red, into their home for counsel regarding their son's erratic behavior. When the priest enters their bedroom alongside the boy's father, Stephen Cook, Green, data expunged, fulfilling profiles Alpha, Theta, and Omega. call is intercepted, and Mobile Task Force Turfing Black arrives 10 minutes later. They are able to discreetly ship the mass onto a mobile containment vehicle for study at Site 99. It spontaneously combusts once placed on the examination table. Father Clark, red, and Mr. Cook, green, survive for several minutes afterward, before the former expires due to cranial trauma. Mr. Cook then grips the edge of the table and pulls, causing the mass to fall to the ground. It lands in such a way as to sever his cervical vertebrae, killing him instantly. A copy of Prodigy Priest King is extracted from the abdomen of either Michael or Matthew Cook, blue. Klein's, blue, speech is rendered near incomprehensible outside of simple phrases, and his motor functions have become impaired. A large tumor is discovered growing behind his parietal lobe.
I lost my spot. I'm right there. There it is.
Got it.
December 5th, 1988. Jeb Swiftwater, blue, age 15, of New York, New York, relates to a psychiatrist a recurring nightmare and accompanying sleep paralysis he has been experiencing over the previous few nights, wherein he expires in a house fire. User Thrice Denied, red, claims that he had to restart his game as all text and dialogue had been replaced with the phrase, quote, "This is where I died," inhibiting their ability to solve a puzzle in Cavern. User Trey is the first player to have reached Hedge Maze. They claim the music on this stage is bugged, as it is periodically interrupted by a loud snapping noise. Subject D999, blue, retrieves the jewel item. The screen goes blank. Subject convulses and expires. Upon dissection, malformed organs, heart, left kidney, right lung, are discovered that are not a genetic match of the subject.
Of December 1988. Progress updates from the PPK newsgroup drop off considerably due to the product recall, but a few members retain their copies of the game. User Triceratop is the second player to reach the hedge maze and upload several images of an indiscernible object, Entity C, green, up in the night sky. User Trey obtains a sword representing the king. They progress to the final area of the game, but do not communicate what this new area is. And blue are discovered by Dr. Gevert. The body is preserved under a layer of hot ash. A Serampinski triangle is charred into linoleum. Cries for help are heard coming from a test chamber. A doll is found within. It cries when disposed of. Is heard throughout Site 33. Researcher Emile, green, who had overseen the previous night's playtesting, is found to have hanged herself in her quarters.
December 7th, 1988. Operatives in Kansas arrive at the home of Sarah Whitaker, Usenet handle Triceratop, to retrieve the second-to-last copy of Prodigy Priest King in civilian possession. Agent Myers suffers third-degree burns on his hands in trying to separate her from the monitor. Whitaker is terminated at the discretion of the team lead. Using information gleaned from the PPK news group, subject D072, red, reaches Hedge Maze. Researchers can corroborate claims of audio abnormalities and the presence of Entity C, green, above the maze. This humanoid sprite can be seen to be hanged by the neck, with a rope extending up into the sky beyond what can be viewed by the player. D072, red, refuses to play any further. When prompted to answer why, he weeps and begs for forgiveness. Subject D856 acquires the mirror in his playthrough. Data expunged. Mobile Task Force See No Evil arrives on site 30 minutes later to restore order and isolate the creature. Sector 3 is subsequently evacuated and scuttled. No disciplinary action is taken against the researchers and guards involved due to their loss of agency. Several are treated for fractures in their metacarpal bones. Samples of the creature's seminal fluid are sent to Biosite 87 for study. The Ethics Committee issues a mandate prohibiting the use of test subjects with a history of sexual offense. 3 distinct character profiles are formulated for affected persons, each correlating with a different range of anomalous effects. Twins, Cindy and Mandy Shields, purple, are found dead. Broken chain links are scattered about the vicinity of the bodies. Subject D009 acquires the sword. He is now able to progress to the final level of the game, titled with a nonsensical assortment of characters and symbols. Sound-canceling headgear is required for the research staff.
Of December, 1988. Subjects D072, red, D147, blue, and D009, green, are found to be absent from their respective cells. Sloppy trails of blood and viscera lead across the ground in the direction of the test chambers, terminating at the point where the floor meets the wall. Shattered glass, a glass ring, and a shiv, respectively, are discovered in the remains. Axel Rodemeyer is pronounced dead by Foundation clinicians following a grand mal seizure. Despite the lack of brain activity, his body twitches over the next half hour. It then stands, approaches the attendant doctor, and embraces him. User Trey makes a post detailing what they believe to be the dungeon holding the game's singular boss. Whole screenshots are included depicting a darkened, winding staircase within a stone corridor. User Triceratop, Sarah Whitaker, green, responds to this, saying, "This is where I died." Expires in Site 42's medical bay. Oh, hey, Site 42.
Oh, what up?
Yeah, shout out. Necropsy reveals the brain tumor to be a developing brain. User Trey posts an update to their progress. They claim to have traveled the spiral staircase for 3 hours, and in spotting an irregularity on the inward-facing wall, found that they are able to clip their avatar partially through the stone. A screenshot of their findings. Data expunged. All testing is subsequently aborted. Efforts are increased to find and identify this user before they can confront the anomaly. The chains have become too few in number to hold it.
December 9th, 1988. Despite never having any form of contact with the anomaly, D126, red, begins to regurgitate shards of reflective glass and dies of blood loss. Leo Rasmussen, blue, shows the first signs of activity since he fell unconscious. He cries out, "Hot! Too hot!" as his body's temperature rises above 38 degrees Celsius. He quickly expires. The Game Over soundbite plays over the PA systems of 70 individual secure Foundation locations, as well as countless civilian institutions, recreation centers, and shopping districts nationwide. Several dozen ropes manifest over the primary test site. Site Director Swanson, Task Force Commander Sheardon, and Senior Researcher Ortega are hanged until dead upon attempting escape. The remaining senior staff is similarly killed as the ropes infiltrate the site through various means. Clerical and custodial staff are not targeted. User Trey makes his final post to the PPK newsgroup, consisting solely of the phrase, "I found where he died." Incident timeline produced by researcher Smalls. Woo!
Ooh. All right, we're getting through this pretty good, actually.
We're making good time. We're only like an hour in, and we're already like
progress.
3 bits away.
Yeah.
We got this, bro. We got this.
Yeah, we got this. Oh, water. I gotta try to keep myself, All right, so we...
Oh, and real quick, somebody donated $10. That is the first donation. That is not me.
Oh, shit.
Thank you, anonymous $10 donor. You are the hero of the stream, the first person to donate who's not me.
I give that son of a bitch a trophy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, let me pour another, and we will move on to the testing log.
I'd be drinking right now, like...
Oh, that's teamwork, man.
Oh, man. I guess I'll just be the killjoy. Yeah.
I will not force you to imbibe anomalous fluid. No, this is not peer pressure. This is just social calling.
Hey. Who finished? Okay, so I guess I should start off the next part since you finished the last one. Let's see, we got...
You do that, and I'll switch out the candle picture.
Actually switching the pictures on the and
On the stream, yeah,
that
I got them
is
all downloaded.
that's very nice touch. I'll give that to you. That's really nice. All right, so we are down to 2 candles now, folks. This shit is getting spooky. I want to continue. I don't know if this is gonna be a good idea, but you know,
No one
this
lives
is to the
forever.
end. Yeah, exactly. If there's any way for me to go, it might as well be through this. All right, so 2 candles. The above is instrumental to proper containment. It is imperative that you press onward. Testing log. Procedure. Initial intake examination to determine the presence of anomalous phenomena. The doll is seated on a chair within the test chamber. D002 is introduced to the environment and instructed to remain still. Description. Temperature within the chamber drops by 2 degrees Celsius. The doll plays a rendition of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, albeit composed of different lyrics. And kill twin kill. You want to do this with me? It'll be a little easier.
Yeah, I'll take this
Like,
one.
get all creepy. Do the creepy twin voice. Can you do a little creepy twin voice?
Twinkle,
Twinkle
little
little
stars,
star. This might be the scariest part.
robbed of
The
wonder,
wonder
torn and
torn and
scarred, rest
scarred
above the
of the
world so
world
high.
so high.
Two
Two
souls
souls split
split
about
about the
the
night.
night.
Twinkle,
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 twinkle, little
little
star,
stars. Justice
justice
is
is
not
not
very
very far.
far.
Scared me. Let's see. All right. Mechanical components. The object's eyes track D002 as he backs away from it and into a corner. Results. Heart palpitations on account of stress induced by the interaction. Attending medical personnel report a mild unease from viewing him. The reasoning for which was found to be ineffable.
All right, next procedure. Standard test to determine potential sapience. The doll is seated on a chair within the chamber. D002 is again introduced. He is instructed to attempt a dialogue with the item. Description. After D002 greets the doll, it responds in kind, calling D002 by his birth name. D002 immediately requests recess. The item giggles until D002 is extracted from the chamber. Results. Subject's vitals found to be normal. Nominal. His eyes were noted to be particularly glassy and dry. Subject reported that he had trouble blinking.
Procedure. Intent is to determine the identity of the item and discern how long until the chains fail to hold. D002 reintroduced into the chamber equipped with a questionnaire. Description. Self as Cindy. Item refuses to elaborate on its intent or purpose. Instead, the item recounts the crime which led to D002's incarceration. Faint screaming begins to emanate from within the chamber with no identifiable source, steadily growing in volume as the doll elaborates. Stops. It then requests that D002 plays with it. D002 does not acquiesce. The doll then questions him regarding Jacqueline Holcroft. He becomes adamant that he be released from the chamber. Results. Personnel report an implacable feeling of terror upon envisioning D002. A medical examination discovers a 2mm cyst on the subject's back. The doctor performing the examination is apprehensive towards lacerating it and is granted personal leave.
Procedure. Purpose of this test is to coerce more information from the item, the entity inhabiting it, or the item or the entity inhabiting it. That's how I should put that. A small table, 2 chairs, a toy tea set, and doilies are prepared for the interaction. Description. D002 sits across from the doll. He first pours her a cup of tea, then itself. As instructed, D002 begins the session by exchanging pleasantries. The pair speak of the weather and of their favorite teas. Several minutes into the conversation, D002 asks her how she came to be in her present situation. She merely states that she exists to fulfill a singular purpose, and stares pointedly at D002. She then begins an inane tangent regarding the events unfolding in Crash Glen. Test aborted. I'm going to say that again. I didn't like any of that. She merely states that she exists to fulfill a singular purpose, and stares pointedly at D002. She then begins an inane tangent regarding the events unfolding in Crash Glen. Test aborted. Results. Subject reported having trouble moving its digits. Volunteer personnel inspected its hands and found them both to have their musculature locked up and fixed in an open-handed grasping position. Furthermore, it became increasingly belligerent upon trying and failing to scratch at the cyst on its back, which had swollen considerably. The decision was made to lacerate it. Alongside a large volume of pus, the subject was found to have a thin, threaded filament hanging from the interior of the cyst. 20 millimeters were extracted before the filament caught and retracted back into D002's back, causing it to scream uncontrollably for its mother.
Procedure. The item is introduced into the test chamber with instructions to bargain with Cindy for information. It is instructed to promise her Foundation support in fulfilling her mission in exchange for sharing knowledge on precisely what it entails. Description. The item is ushered into the chamber, having lost the use of its legs. Once the door is sealed, the item, with great trouble, recites the script prepared by Foundation personnel describing their intent in aid. Cindy blushes. She laughs at the item and stands from her seat. She approaches the item, staring it in the eyes, and tells it she already has everything she wants. She then requests the awaiting security personnel to open the door for her. They comply. Dr. Carter offers her a ride home, citing the worry her parents must be feeling, and apologizes profusely. To the Albright Manor. Results.
Content warning for item that scares the hell out of everybody.
You're actually going to get the picture up there?
Wow.
These are the results. Item recovered from within the test chamber. Testing log produced by I.H. Pickman.
Okay, that's enough of that.
Yeah. That is the wonderful work of Cyan Trayus. I'm not sure they go by. Yeah, this was actually, that was part of the SCP-3000 contest. There was Jekyll's Entry Tower, SCP. It is now SCP-3333. This was the photo that was at the end of that, but after some edits, he actually ended up taking it out of the article. So when I got to this piece, I remembered that picture, and I said, hey, it's cool if I use it. Everybody was great with it, saying let me use it, and it works out because there's some freaky shit that needs to go somewhere.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird picture. Like, it's got that creep vibe to it, but the amount of people that I saw in like the comments who were like, that was like the worst part of this was that picture. I was like, damn, guys.
Yeah, it's bad. Candy Valley.
Real quick, hey to everybody who just showed up in the chat, like Dark Stuff and Elegy Fish Truck. Good to see you guys on the stream.
And good to see a couple other authors in here.
Make sure everybody sees the donation link because we're doing this for charity tonight. Our current donation total is up to $52, which is better than $0, so I'm still happy with it. But if we can raise that up a little bit before this creepy monster murders us all, then I will be proud of that.
Right, so where are we at?
We are going on to recovered evidence. So you finish that one, so I'll start this one.
Beautiful.
We have recovered evidence, danger, containment breach imminent. One candle left. The above is instrumental to proper containment. Do not stop reading. Recovered evidence. Date: January 1st, 2001. Location: Yogi Bear's Jellystone Park, Corryville, Pennsylvania. Discoveries: one camper furnished for a family of 4 situated at the campsite. There was no accompanying vehicle. A malnourished border collie laying beside the camper became violent upon collection. A stick. One end skewers 2 marshmallows, the other is smoldering in the fire pit. A rosary belonging to Savannah Grace. A single chain, rusted and near useless. Don't know where that came from. 3 bloodied
that's really strange.
fingernails, discovered by a small stone embedded in the soil. Claw marks are evident in the dirt for a half-meter from the direction of the camper. The remnants of several charred pieces of paper within the fire pit. Burnt articles of clothing belonging to an adult male, found hidden beneath the camper. Tire treads belonging to an unidentified pickup truck or SUV leading away from the area. Take it
December
away.
14th, 1988. It's my birthday. Location: Abdi Residence, Calvert, Texas. Discoveries: gown caught in the bushes beneath a second-story bathroom window. Bare footprints, whose placement indicates a slow and steady gait, lead through the mud towards the street. Slashes, rips, and tears in several pieces of furniture throughout the living room, which is in a state of disarray. An identical pair of marks are scratched in the wall leading from the bottom to the top of the staircase. Flashlight triggered in the on position. The lens is cracked, and it has run out of batteries. 3 sleeping bags. The first is soiled with urine. The second is torn asunder with no remaining biological evidence besides a solitary strand of hair. The third is zipped closed around a mound originally thought to be one of the missing persons. Approximately 5 pounds of soil. Analysis is able to determine it had been sourced from Cresh Glen. Located at the bottom of the stairs adjacent to the living room, in a pool of bile. Room laying in the hallway. The hinges are warped and destroyed. The restroom within the master bedroom is locked from the inside. A single slip of paper is found to have been inserted beneath the door. It was meant to be read. Single child's toothbrush, its handle bloodied. Blood, viscera, and was later determined to be intraocular fluid are found in the sink across from the open window.
Date: November 11th, 2019. Location: cabin of renowned horror writer Earl Studebaker, Ian, Netherlands. Discoveries: single pair of boot prints in the snow, leading from the cabin and into the wilderness. The trail ends at a nearby country road. Victim's typewriter. The L key is missing. A several hundred-page manuscript atop the workstation, incinerated by investigators. A loaded handgun laying on the floor beside the victim's chair. A single round has been discharged. The final chapter. Spirals. Minute traces of blood, bone fragments, and cerebral matter in the vicinity of the workstation. A bundle of towels, soaked in blood and containing larger bone fragments, discovered among cleaning supplies hidden beneath the bathroom sink. Victim's trademark Homburg hat was found to have been stolen.
Date: 31st of October, 2018. Location: the home of Hugh Davies, broadcasting location of horror podcast Witching Hour, Manchester, England. Discoveries: splotches of a warm, viscous fluid around a shattered basement window. A cloud of smoke. The lingering scent of burning hair and scorched flesh. Scorched flesh. A cell phone belonging to the guest vlogger contained a trigger. We might be looking at our own future here. This is terrible. Several ounces of ash, concentrated within countless handprints scattered across the floor of the basement studio. Orientation suggests a single point of origin. Regarding the disappearance of identical twins, Sindel and Mandy. That contained footage recorded immediately after the live stream was corrupted. Contents viewed without sound by a sole operator, since euthanized. Its entire length covered in saliva. A desiccated husk of inverted human epidermis. The oral cavity is grossly expanded.
Are we gonna be okay?
I don't. That's this. Listen, it was really nice knowing you. I just got
Too real,
put
bro.
that out there. You're a really cool
Too
guy.
real.
I'm so sorry for everything that is about to happen to the both of us. This is just. And it's so much worse because there's two people in this one. Awkward.
Date. The only numbers aren't redacted or a series of ones, so I can't really tell you what the date is. It's just one redacted, redacted one.
It's 11111.
One, 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 one. Location: Judith Montague Memorial Library, Ebbrook, Wales. Discoveries: shattered glass scattered about the south-facing bay window. Most fragments were stained with blood. Something small and defenseless originating from Jacqueline Holcroft. 11 dead birds, various species. Cause of death determined to be from internal bleeding and bruising of the brain from a collision with the structure. Heavy infestation by Musa domestica, numbering in the hundreds of thousands. Library cards belonging to the 6 victims indicated book club membership. 5 books found throughout the reading area, rotten beyond identification, and each one found to contain genetic material from their respective reader. Low, droning noise emanating throughout the area. A hymn in an unknown language. A trail of words in cursive script, written with an estimated 5 liters of human blood. It begins from the shattered bay window and follows a route towards the book depository across the street. 1 operative is lost.
Right. Date: 11th of August, 1914. Location: Allied trenches. Trenches near Soissons, France. Discoveries: found at the bottom of a deep shaft entrenched along the soldiers' held position. 2 are warped, and identifying information has been scratched out. Eye found in the possession of a rat. A severely damaged copy of Prodigy Priest King. Empty rifles. A sweep of the area reveals that most rounds were fired into friendly territory. Envelope containing an illegible letter. Found in the mud beneath the duckboards. They will not be missed. Wire, caked in viscera. The uniform of one of the missing soldiers is tangled within. 11 teeth belonging to the only identified soldier, found at the bottom of the pit coated in soil. Large enough for a grown man, extending from the bottom of the pit and continuing for some several hundred meters. It ends upon meeting a trench in enemy-occupied territory, found at irregular intervals within the tunnel.
Date: December 31st, 2011. Location: Taichi Kazuo Residence. Discoveries: black clouded water in all basins. Samples of the fluid revealed the particulate to be powdered bone mineral. Extensive water damage in the rooms beneath and adjacent to the lavatory. Copious amounts of 1 meter long human hair, black. The sound it makes when we burn each witness in the crematorium. 11 mirrors. 10 are in various rooms within the domicile, shattered. The last, a compact pocket mirror, is found untouched. All clothing and personal effects belonging to 6 of the 7 missing participants, neatly folded and arranged. 100 extinguished candles gathered in the center of the living quarters. 100 extinguished candles gathered in the center of the living quarters. Huh?
Keep going.
Yeah. 100 extinguished candles gathered in the center of the living quarters. Extinguished candles, 100, gathered in the center of the living quarters. 100 extinguished candles gathered in the center of the strike-through living quarters. 100 extinguished candles gathered in the center of the living is struck through quarters. Extinguished candles, 100, gathered in the center of the living struck through quarters. Extinguished candles, 100, gathered in the center of the living it struck through quarters. Candles. Extinguished. Gathered. Living. Recovered evidence provided by containment staff, SCP-5000.
Yes, I was doing the, there's actually, let me see if I can actually see it on my phone. I don't think I can. Oh yeah, I can. Oh shit. Yeah, there's actually, there's hidden text. You see, you're going through, I was reading out the hidden text that's like invisible in that section.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not creepier at all.
Yeah. No, it's not creepy at all. Boy.
Satpak Kataduck in the chat. Shaggy's be like, read it. Read the binary. Complete the ritual.
Is that how you say his name? How do you say his name? Say it again.
I say Satpak Kataduck. Satpak Kataduck.
Satpak Kataduck?
Sat, like TCAT, I just say sat. And then pout,
Sat.
like when you're sad, you pout.
Okay.
And then Kataduck.
Kataduck.
Satpak Kataduck.
Who happens when you have a confusing ass acronym as your name? Let's say.
But it's fun to say when you finally get it.
Yeah, I just had to practice that a little bit. I'm glad I haven't had to read anything yet that's got his author avatar is basically a just a robot that people use, or an AI. Right, he's got his character in articles just named that, of course. It's nice and complicated for us.
Satpak Kataduck AIC. Oof, that's gonna hurt when we find that.
Satpak Kataduck AIC. I'm gonna have to really practice that guy's name. All right, so now we have finally read every single part, and that is probably not for the best, because if we open this final collapsible here, and you got it, do you have this part up here?
If I open this, it says important, please disregard all previous warnings. You may proceed within. The first thing that happens is that this candle goes out. And so that happened. The candle's out. And
oh no.
I don't know. Oh no, that's the thing. That's the thing. Oh no. Oh no.
Shit.
We shouldn't have done this. And I'm back. It's all right. I slayed the demon. Or I died. Is this heaven? Is this hell?
I think we're both dead.
These are questions for another day. Yep. Okay, so now that we're in the afterlife, hi. How are you doing, dead Shaggydredlocks?
Doing pretty good for a dead guy. Shaggydredlocks. I think that's appropriate. Yeah, we're Doing pretty fine. I'm sorry if we ended up bringing anybody along with us watching the stream that was unfortunate enough to witness every single piece of this 100 Tales, 100 Candles style game that we were playing here. Uh,
You know,
our
if they
bad.
stayed around this
Sorry to
long,
kill everyone.
I think they were into it. They knew what they were getting into.
Yeah, they had it coming.
Now that we've reached the end of the
Oh boy.
game, do you have any sort of final words on this massive article that we have gone through tonight?
Oh God. Not a whole lot that is not covered by myself, everybody on the page, and in the comments. There's a lot of different competing theories to everything that's going on in it, and things that even go over my head. I mean, I'm super impressed at the because this was the mystery contest that we were a part of when me, you, and the others all got together and produced this. So I'm pretty blown away by some of the theories I've seen coming out of people that things that I never would have expected didn't intend, but some of them are actually kind of better with it than what I had in mind. Uh, really fun to go through and try to pick it apart and kind of make your own theories and try to figure out what's going on in it.
Yeah, I remember SCP Declassified shredding it apart. Did you ever look at their document that they put together for it?
Yes, I was talking about that with a random day earlier today. They God, there was this huge side tangent because I mean there's 10, 15, I don't just a big group of people in that server all trying to pick it apart and really try to piece things together and figure out what is going on. And there's this huge side tangent about like even the most minuscule things. Like I just like a throwaway line that I was just using to piece things together that they would zero in and kind of focus on and get out of hand. It was one that was about in that last section that we were going over the recovered evidence. There's at one point in the very first scene, the one that you read, there was one of the items they recover is this it's a stick. It's a stick with marshmallows on it. And they went in this huge side tangent about like the orientation of this stick and the significance. It's like it's the final key. It's the final piece of the puzzle. And like it was hilarious.
Uh, are there any things that people came up with that you're like, all right, that's good enough that that is what it is now?
Honestly, because I mean this whole thing it was just a horror anthology. It's not really supposed to be as interconnected as it ended up being. Um, but I think if you look at if you go to the page, if you look into the comments, you'll see user Captain Kirby. He came up like he really went into it, and knuckled down and pieced things together. And his interpretation is actually better than what I had in mind. So I just kind of crowned him the king. I gave him a whole bunch of cookies. I said, you know what, you figured this out answer than I did. So you know what, you're right. You beat Word of God. What was that? Let me see if I can actually.
Yep, we're all dead. Thank you for killing us. Best death I've had so far.
Yes.
I mean, there are worse ways to go.
Yeah.
We read some of them tonight.
Oh, there's Joppy there. What's going on, Joppy? Yep. Sorry for killing you. I did not mean to do that.
Whew. All right, well, chat, I'm going to give you like 3 minutes if you have any questions you want to ask about 5999 while we roll down and Shaggy and I
Question, comments, concerns.
have a drink and a cigarette while we come down from this
Yeah.
story high.
Maybe check out that donation link that is in the comments. We probably raise a little bit more. I gotta figure out. I gotta get my donation
Put a
from
little bit
self
of
on there.
donations in the jar.
Yes. Was. And we're sitting here, we're making asses of ourselves for your entertainment. So hopefully it'll pay off for the people that need it.
Let me.
Sorry. No, we have a survivor who missed the stream. You missed most of the stories, but you walked away with your life, so it's a pretty fair trade-off. Rose Wolf.
Does that take me to? Okay, good. Then makes it a fundraiser. All right. I got the donation link. It's in the description. I also put it in the first comment. I'm gonna pin that so it doesn't go away.
There you go. That's a good idea. Oh. So let's see if I can.
Elisa Chernosko, I would like to thank you personally for this is your introduction to the channel, and you also became a patron of Site 42 today, and that is the most generous thing I've ever. Thank you so much.
Oh
You
my
have my
goodness!
love
Thank
for the
you,
evening.
Alicia.
I'm gonna donate that first
My
month of
hat that
patronage
I'm
to the
not wearing is
cause.
off to you.
John Holm wants to know if there are any specific articles from the wiki that you used for inspiration for 5999.
Specific wiki articles. I would say probably not really. I mean, I do kind of get inspiration from some other things on the wiki when I'm working on certain things, but this, most of this, actually, I would have to cancel that. I would say the incident timeline with the video game, the haunted video game. That would be the inspiration I got from this on site would be the Great Hippos. Well, it's haunted video game SCP. It is some freaky shit, and he did a really good job with the images. Kind of like built this 2D pixelated game, and the implications are some pretty goddamn scary shit. Um, beside besides that, I would say as a whole, um, and I'm gonna have to pick on Hippo again. Let me see if I can get to his author page here, so because I cannot remember the name of this SCP. Um, what is it? Oh yeah, it's I can't remember the number. I know it's called the Monster Shaped Hole.
That's just a cool freaking name.
It really is. Here we go. It's SCP-3117, and it used to be titled something else. It was titled with the Japanese, basically the Japanese name of the Hundred Candles, Hundred Tales game, which I absolutely, for the life of me, cannot pronounce. But that is what like this article, SCP-3117, is what introduced me to that concept. So this, as a whole, kind of inspired this entire thing. It just got me set off onto the idea of an anthology series called. Oh, I cannot say this at all. Okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try to say this. Yakumono Gatari Kaidenkai. That's the best I can do for it. And it's a gathering of 100 supernatural tales. So that would be another inspiration for this article. But a lot of what it was it came from a lot of different sources, movies. The exploration is super Silent Hill. I don't know, probably pretty obvious with all the mist and stuff. The seventh door.
Let's see. Seventh door. The seventh door. Which one is the seventh door?
SCP for the chat. That is SCP-4054, the seventh door.
Ah.
And that one is absolutely stellar. Like the box, he even goes into the doing the box art, which is fantastic. Looks like one of those like old NES style games like through and through. It is on point. The whole aesthetic and everything. I did not get into. I wanted to make images for the video game section, but my Photoshop skills were just fell a little short. So I kind of abandoned that and went photo free for that section of the article. Any other? The donate button wasn't working for me, and I'm not using mobile. I was using my laptop here, and I tried to click it.
The
I
donate
haven't
button got a
been
little
on
prissy
this.
with me for a little bit. I had to fiddle with it.
Yeah, so probably after the stream, I'll get into that, and I don't want
Yeah,
to be
I've
sitting
got
here
it so
typing
that the donate button is live for a couple days after the stream. So as people filter in, they'll be able to go in and press
Okay.
the button.
You got a couple days to share this with some people. Send it around. Maybe we'll get a few donations. 420 isn't too high to attain to, so we should be able to make that zero problemo.
Checking in, Hippo is currently working on a real version of the Seventh Door, which is kind of amazing sounding. The first thing I hear.
But hold up, he's doing what?
Apparently, he's making the Seventh Door like a game version.
He is actually making the game for that.
That's what the chat has just told me, and obviously everything the chat tells you is 100% accurate all the time.
Obviously, everything you hear on the internet is 100% true and irrefutable.
So yes, I do hear the donate button is being finicky. It took me like a dozen clicks. Keep trying, please, for the sake of the people we are raising money for. And as someone in the chat, I think it was... where are you? Marissa. Marissa says, I know you have a cat. Show us your cat. So, I used to have a cat. But the cat babies stay with their mother. And so I do not have custody of the cat, sadly. But I do have a picture of the cats. They are twins.
That's terrible.
They are Giacomo and Dora. And this is Princess Dora.
Going? Are you showing them cats? You should. I can't watch the stream myself.
Oh, you can't see the stream. Yes, I pulled a picture up on my phone of Princess Dora.
Okay.
The cutest of cats.
Right, at least they got their cat fix.
Exactly. At least if you're on the internet and you don't get a cat, then everything's gone wrong.
Everything just falls the fuck apart.
Oh no! And I also got a picture of Giacomo. So here's a picture of the other cat, Giacomo. And they are wonderful, beautiful cats. They are my babies. They stay with their mom. And we love them all the way.
That is adorable.
I think we just found the perfect segue to end our stream tonight with my cats being the best boy
Always
and girl.
end on an adorable note. That's a good spot to call it off.
And so you have any last words for our audience tonight, Shaggy?
I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, checking us out. We all had a good time. And don't forget to check that donation link and help your fellow man out.
Please check out the donation link in the description. Right underneath that, please check out Shaggy's new channel because he's also doing SCP readings on YouTube now. And as I've seen in the chat a couple times, we both have those good sultry voices that are good for readings. So you're getting those compliments today, my friend. Do all those YouTube things you know how to do. Subscribe. Hit the bell because then YouTube will tell you that there are actually videos. Like, share, comment. Please share this video stream. That way people see it and donate and things like that. The donate stream button will be live for a couple days. If it takes you that long to actually get the button to work, gosh darn it. I'm just glad they're getting so many donations that it's making it difficult for the button to work. That's just a nice thing.
There you go. Gotta look on the bright side.
Thus far in tonight's stream, we have raised what my donation button says is $62. And that is going to go up as the streams kick. So I thank you guys in advance for hanging out with us and reading this badass story and dying with us.
And apologies.
It happens. At least one out of every 50 articles will kill you.
Yeah, if you're not murdering people with your stories, then what the hell are you even doing?
Break hearts, break minds, write good fiction. We will see you guys in the videos this week. Thank you guys very much. This is TheeSherm and Shaggydredlocks signing off from tonight's stream. Hear, hear.
Take care, yo.
Peace out.